Okay, today's story time's in the dark. I woke up at like 3 a.m., so that's when we do it. Yeah. Talking about my job today. Not my job currently, my old job. I washed dishes as a kid. I was like 13 or 14. I asked my mom, I want some money, and she said, okay, you can go make it. We need a dishwasher at work. We'll start you at $10 an hour under the table. It was only like a 4 hour shift, at least that's how it was pitched to me. They were like, hey, you want to be the dishwasher? It's 5 to 9. I was like, cool. I get there, you walk in through this big ass screen door in the back of the restaurant. You got three sinks right in front of you. Like there's one just completely piled with dishes. Then you got another one empty. Another one, that's the one with the sprayer. There's a dude in front of it. He's a little bit older than me, like high school aged. He's working. He looks Joe. Uh, Whenever we get started, I meet him. I can't remember his name right now, but it doesn't matter. I can't share it. So, dude is just giving me the rundown. My mom introduces me, and then he's like, okay, this is how the job works. You got these big ass trays, set it up right here, right next to the sprayer. Spray off your dishes, clean them off. This is the one with the garbage disposal. Set up your dishes in here, line them up nice, slide them in. We got this big thing. It looked like an elevator shaft, bro, because it's literally just like you got this top pull down, closes like big ass doors, and then hit this button. It runs. You can just hear it going crazy with the water. Open it, get hit in the face with all that steam and soap and shit, and then slide it out. All them dishes are spotless. Give them a second to dry, set them up on the rack. And then you had to go take them places. I didn't really catch that part of the job. At the time, I'm like looking at this like, yeah, I just wash the dishes. Cool. I'll do this part. Let me get used to it. And then you can just run the dishes and, I'll figure that out later. So I start getting into it. I got gloves on, I was getting ready for it. I got my apron and I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay clean doing this job. Start getting in there. 2 seconds into it, I realized the gloves were stupid. They immediately got filled with water, fucking sloshing through my fingers. I was disgusted by it, and I basically lost them on the second day. I was done with that shit. But, I get used to the flow. People start piling dishes in the second sink, and then you have like the backlog whenever, you're not doing anything. You start taking them out of the third sink, so you can start working that down. By the end of the shift, all sinks were clean. So the job seems pretty simple. I'm working through, my parts of it. I'm working down the big ass pile. I'm watching him take the dishes back, and he's helping me, organize them and taking care of what I need to when he's got time. Like, it's pretty back and forth between the two of us. We're both, managing the job. A couple weeks into it, I've done the job. Like, I was doing it like Thursday and Friday, just helping this dude. A couple weeks into it, he just disappeared. So they get me on Thursday night. I get there, 5 o'clock like normal, and my dude's just not there, and no one says nothing. And I'm kind of doing my thing, putting the dishes away. And then, someone come over to me like, hey, we're running out of dishes over here. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And they're like, you got to take the dishes over here. You got to restock them and stuff. We don't have anything. And I was like, that was usually the other dude's job. Where's he tonight? And they were like, oh, he's not coming in. And I was like, what? And they were like, it's just you tonight. I was like, what? And apparently that was how it was going to be from then on, but no one said that at the time. Like that night, I managed it. I figured out what I was doing. I fucking worked my ass off. At the end of the shift, I didn't stay till 9 that night. I stayed till like 11. They hit you with this fucking wave of dishes. The kitchen closes. They start throwing all those fucking pans, and I figure out where that big ass pile of dishes come from. So I had to run through all that shit that night. I think the first night it happened, I stayed till like 12 actually. And they were like, sitting there waiting on me, mad that I was a kid trying to manage a whole fucking kitchen's worth of dishes, and I was fucking not doing it. Like, I wasn't living up to it. Kitchen cook had to step in and help me, and he was pissed. Like, but regardless, I managed it, and I'm leaving out part of the job was sweeping up at the end. You had to, like, it wasn't sweeping, it was mopping. You had to take the bucket, slosh it all around, like fucking SpongeBob in this bitch, and then you take it back to the cooler. You had to do everything, you had to do in front of your area, do the line area, you had to do back in the cooler. All the shit needed done every night, and they put that all in the dishwasher, who at the time was 13, 14. Like, I think I started at 13 or 14. I really can't remember which one. Like, I'm not trying to say I worked for a whole year there, because check this out. We'll get there, actually. I actually remember in the middle of mopping, the dude was like, that's not how you do it. And he grabbed it off of me and was like, what, you never used a mop before? And he started showing me, and I was like, I have literally never used a mop before. The dude I washed dishes beside did offer me weed. This is about when I learned that people in the kitchen just do not give a fuck. a lot of them were joking about doing like the harder drugs and stuff like that. You know, none of that was my thing. But when the dudes saw me, they was like, "Oh, you look like a stoner," and I was like, "Yeah, I smoke." And he pulled me up. Oh my god, there's actually a part of this job I'm leaving out. The garbage. The dishwasher was responsible for doing all the garbage. There was 3 different garbage cans. You had to continually take them out through the shift. One by the dishes that they would clear off, their plates. There's one by the line where the dudes, cooks would throw shit out. And then there's one by you, like the dishwasher shit. And all this stuff, you just keep collecting it, put it on wagons in the back. Not insane, for a full adult, but as a kid, when they're like, take out this big ass garbage bag, you try heaving that shit up, and then you take it out to the back. Guess where you gotta take it? All the way up to the dumpster. I said up. There is a hill, incline. You're dragging this bitch all the way up there. They gave you a wagon, but you got multiple garbage bags in this wagon, dragged all the way up there, and then guess what you gotta do? Throw it into the dumpster. You're a kid, remember? You're heaving it up. So you're like, trying to throw them up there and get them high enough without putting yourself under the garbage juice. You don't want to get under that shit. You don't want to touch it that much. My first couple shifts there, what I was about to explain, the dude literally smoked with me behind that dumpster. He was like, "Hey, come on, we gotta go take the garbage out. Like, it was gonna be fun." And I didn't understand until we got up there, like, how chill it would be. Fuck it, I'm working alone, completely different animal. This place is hell. It's one of those reminders that having a good friend with you through something can make it worth it. After a couple nights of this happening, I was like, hey, this isn't cool. I don't actually like working this whole job by myself. I didn't think this is what I signed up for. I gotta wake up every day for school and I feel like shit trying to go to sleep at after I get home, I take a shower because I feel fucking greasy from washing dishes and I can't do this to myself. So I say that, they were like, okay, we still need a dishwasher on Saturday, Sunday. You could come in and work those shifts, you could help on Saturday and then like you've been doing, and then Sunday you could work by yourself until someone else can come in and relieve you in the evening. And I was like, that's cool, I will work. I just don't want to work this late into the night. And so the couple nights, it was a little sour, people weren't exactly happy with me. They were like, okay, yeah, you're gonna work 4 hours. And I'm like, I'm a kid, man, that's normal. That's what I'm supposed to work. But as a kid, I didn't know how to articulate that. And I just was awkward. I was like, yeah, I just can't do this. A couple weeks go by. I got back on the new schedule. I'm working Saturday 5 to 9 and Sunday in the morning is like 10 to, I think it's 2 or 4, depending on when the person got there. And I was cool with that. I'm not working into the night anymore. That's fine with me. I worked like that a couple more times, by myself on Saturdays, Sundays. Shit kept going smoothly, and then dude called me out the blue one Sunday. He said, hey, where are you? I was like, what do you mean, where am I? He said, well, you're on the schedule. And I'm like, well, I look at my phone, I'm not on the schedule. My mom sent me the schedule, it don't say that. Well, I can't help it, you and your mom looked at the wrong schedule. You coming in? I'm 14, I don't have a ride. I literally said, I have no way to get there. Mom didn't plan on me working today, so she's not even here. That was the end of my career there. My mom didn't say there was hard feelings, but she said, yeah, it just didn't work out. I guess they didn't like that I demanded my own schedule. And I'm like, well, I kind of just wanted what I signed up for, but I guess that was my experience, The job set me up. They said, hey, this is your expectation, this is what you can do. I said, hey, I can do it. And then they demanded way more of me, and I tried to live up to it. And when I couldn't, they were like, hey, so what can I do? He didn't reply, and I never got put on the schedule again. So I guess I got fired. I don't know. Technically, it wasn't a real job, so it's iffy. But yeah, that was my first real job experience. To be clear, there was no hard feelings. My mom didn't say oh, he's really mad at you. It was just yeah, he didn't like that, and moved on. I seen that guy a couple more times, my mom worked there, so sometimes I'd be down there getting food or whatever, and he was chill. He still, greet me like normal. It just didn't work out. So I guess don't mix business and family, man. Whatever. At some point when I was in that restaurant, I decided I was never gonna work in another restaurant, and I haven't. So, fucking rock on, little me. lot of things working against me right now. The heater keeps coming on. I'm a little bit sick, so I might not sound great, but hey, I wanted to make something. I woke up and I had free time, so it's free. Peace.